Hey y'all, you seen the title of the video. Your girl is back again with another story time. If you know my channel, hey girl, hey, if you're a returning subscriber, I don't have to say anything because you know what's up, I know what's up, we know what's up, and that's on what? That's on period. And Mary had a little lamb. As y'all can see by the title in the thumbnail, actually, I don't know what I'm going to title this video, but go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure y'all like. I think YouTube took away the hype button, but if you can do that for me, if you see the hype button, make sure you hype this video up because a lot of you guys have been requesting for me to do more story times, but when I go back and look at the analytics on the story times, the likes are not hitting, the comments are not hitting, y'all. If y'all want me to post more content, or in order for me to know what type of content to post, I go based on what y'all engage with. Like, a lot of you guys have been asking me to post more story times, but if the engagement is not there, I'm gonna think y'all don't like me and y'all don't like my story time. So that's why I haven't been posting them as much. But girly, let's go ahead and get into it. So y'all already know, in order for any of my story times to make sense, I have to give y'all a little backstory. So y'all, this happened a few years ago. My homegirl asked me, she didn't just, let me give y'all the backstory, because she didn't just come to me and just say, hey, do you want to go to New Orleans? She basically told me that she had met this guy, and I'm lying. I was in her business, y'all. She ain't just come out and tell me that she met the guy either. I think she posted him on Instagram, and I was just like, friend, who is that? So we're gonna call my homegirl Goldfish. Not because she's stupid. I don't even know why Goldfish just came to mind, y'all. She is not stupid, but Goldfish is the name that I don't know. It just popped in my. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, that scared me. Goldfish is the name that popped in my head, y'all. So I have two homegirls that are involved in the story. One homegirl, we're gonna call her Goldfish, and then the other homegirl, she's really more of an acquaintance. We don't really hang out as much, but we used to be really tight. Like in like high school and in college, we used to talk all the time. We're gonna call her Blowfish. And she's not big. I don't know why. Fishes are just coming to my mind, y'all. So Blowfish is my old school homegirl, and then Goldfish is like a newer friend of mine. But at this point, I think we've been friends for about 4 years. But at the time, we were only friends for maybe like 2 years, maybe less. I'm scrolled up on her Instagram because she posted this guy. And I was just like, I think I put the eyeballs, like, friend, who is this? And she was just like, girl, this is my man. Like, this is my man. And I just met him, but I just already know that he's going to be my man. And she was like, we need to catch up. And like, I have so much to tell you because at this point, we probably didn't talk for like maybe a month or two. Y'all know how adult friendships be. You don't need to keep up with your friend every day. I don't know about y'all, but I say all the time, I am a low maintenance friend. Like, we'll talk every day for maybe 2 months, and then I'll go without talking to my bestest of friends for like, I don't know, y'all, a month or two. Like, it just depends on what I have going on in life. But all of my friends understand that. And this is one of those friendships that I have where when we locked in, we talk, we're together all the time. And then when we're not together, or if I'm not really social, because some months I just don't be as social. So this is one of those times where I didn't connect with her for a while. It probably was like 2 months. So we finally get on the phone maybe a week after me like swiping up on her Instagram story, inquiring about her man. And we do the whole catch up. Around this time, I want to say I had a man, y'all, but I wasn't engaged. And I think at this time, I'm trying to think, I really don't recall what I had going on. And I'm only telling y'all this because I feel like once you are locked in with your man, I personally don't tell my friends my business between me and a man if I know that this is like the end all game. Like nowadays, when it comes to me and my man, I don't tell my friends my business. But guys that I was just, talking to casually, or it's not really serious yet, I would tell them my business. So around this time, I'm visiting my homegirl, telling her about whatever me and my man had going on, and she was telling me about the guy that she was talking to. And the guy that she was talking to, she said that she had met this man when she was out on a walk, and he asked her for her number. And she said that he lived in New Orleans, but he was in Houston for the weekend, and he was leaving in like 2 days, so they didn't have time to hang out. Like, they just text while they were there. So fast forward, She said that she was talking to the man for about 1 or 2 months now, and everything was going well. And the man told her that he wanted to fly her out to see him. He wanted to fly her out to NOLA, y'all. And she was nervous about it because she was trying to get him to come to Houston. He said that he was going to come to Houston, but for some reason, he switched it up last minute, saying he had a lot of stuff going on. And my friend, she's self-employed, so he was just like, can you fly here? And when she was mentioning it to me, y'all, it kind of sounded like she wanted somebody to go with her, because she was just like, but I don't know, like I really want to see him, but at the same time I'm a little nervous because I've never flown out to see a man first. And at this time, I want to say this was at the beginning of my travel business. I traveled, but I didn't travel as much as I travel now. So I was just like, NOLA is literally next door to Houston, y'all. I think it's like 3 to 4 hours away from us. So I was just like, that ain't nothing but an hour flight. Like, if you down, like I'll fly with you or whatever. But I wasn't serious. I was just saying that at the time, because you know how you be on the phone and you be getting cheese made and it be sounding real good. So you be like, girl, if you need somebody to fly with you, I'll come with you. So I told her I would fly out there with her. Not really serious, y'all. I wasn't not serious, but I wasn't serious, if you know what I mean. Fast forward that following day, what did I name her? Goldfish. Goldfish texted me, and she was just like, we're gonna call the guy that lives in NOLA. We're gonna call him Canister. She was like, Canister said that he'll buy you a flight and he'll get us a hotel with 2 bags if you decide to come. And I was just like, oh, I wasn't really serious, but when you put it that way, he's gonna buy the flight, then I might as well go ahead and go with her. And it was honestly just for her safety, y'all. I haven't been, prior to this, I had not been to NOLA since Mardi Gras. Like, I want to say when I was in college, it had been years, and NOLA is always a good time. They have really good food. So I had nothing against NOLA, but at the same time, I knew that it wasn't going to be like regular girls trip. It wasn't like one of those trips where I was going to create an itinerary and we were going to be, going out to eat and dining and things of that sort. I knew that she was there to meet her man, and it was only just a weekend trip. So fast forward, literally 2 weeks later, did end up, well, she forwarded me the flight. He did get me a flight. I gave the information. Well, my friend knows my birthday and my name or whatever. That's all you need for a flight, y'all. So she sends me my flight confirmation. And this honestly was the first red flag that I probably shouldn't have went on this escapade. But I don't know, y'all. I probably should have. Like, I questioned it, but this was the first red flag. He only bought me a one-way ticket, and I was just like, where is their like return flight or whatever? She was like, oh girl, got it, he's gonna get us the flight back home, like don't even worry about it. So I'm like, he didn't get you a return flight either? She's like, no, he didn't get me a return flight, but he's definitely gonna get us a flight back home. So that already kind of like, but then at the same time, the flight, the one-way ticket there was less than $100. So I'm like, all right, if something does happen, it's not really a big deal. I can always just go online and book a flight back. Like I said, NOLA and Houston, they're neighboring states. We're literally right here, okay? So I didn't think too much into it. And she posted this man online already. I had already seen him, and it just didn't give broke, y'all. It just didn't give scandalous. I wasn't really thinking like, oh, he would do anything crazy like that, because she had already said that within her knowing him for like 2 months, he was already like sending her money. And then just looking at him, I know you cannot judge a book by its cover, y'all, but it didn't give I would lead you astray. Like, it just did, it really, it didn't give that, y'all. But fast forward, the day that we were supposed to fly out, homegirl, my flight departed at 7 a.m. We had to be at the airport by 5 a.m. And we live in two different sides of town. So I flew out from IAH. It's like 30 minutes from where I live. And my homegirl lives closer to, I don't want to give her direct area away. I'm just gonna say she lives closer to the airport than me, so it didn't make sense, because I know somebody gonna be like, why y'all just didn't fly out together? It honestly did not make sense for us to me to Uber to her house and for her to Uber here than us to go to the airport together. So we already decided that we were gonna meet each other at the airport, y'all. I hope y'all can hear me. So we decided that we were gonna meet each other at the airport. Following up, I called her when I woke up. I called her and no phone, like the phone didn't even ring, y'all. The phone was going straight to the voicemail. And I was already kind of thinking, like, I already had a bad feeling that maybe she was going to miss her flight, or I don't know, y'all. I just had, you know how your nervous system will tell you that something is wrong before something is actually wrong. Like, I just had that feeling something is wrong. And I really thought that because I literally woke up in sweats, y'all. Like when I had a flight, I don't know what it is, y'all, but I missed a really big flight before. It was a really important flight. And I had PTSD from that flight. So when it comes to flights, definitely when I have big flights, like y'all, I'm literally flying out to Japan tomorrow, and I do all nighters like before any of my business trips, because I have people depending on me, waiting for me. I will stay up the entire 24 hours a day before, just to make sure I do not miss my flight, because I've had an experience in the past where I've missed a very important flight. I end up getting myself out of it, but y'all know that feeling when your ass is in your stomach. Yeah, that type of feeling when you about to miss a flight. So I woke up probably, I want to say like 40 minutes before I needed to be to the airport. I woke up late. So the fact that I called her and her phone was going to the voicemail, that was the first red flag. Long story short, y'all, she did end up missing the flight, but I didn't know that she missed the flight until the last minute. Like literally, I'm waiting to be the last one to get on the plane. They already done called boarding zone 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and she was not at the airport. So I'm like, damn, she done missed this flight. But at the same time, like I said, y'all, NOLA is literally next door. I know y'all probably thinking like, well, girl, I wouldn't have went. But again, NOLA is next door to Houston. I really wasn't thinking, even if she did miss the flight, it wasn't going to be that much of a big deal. Even if they didn't have any other flights out, you could literally you can drive from Houston to NOLA, y'all. So I get there. When I get there, I have all of these mixed text messages from her saying that she missed her flight, but she's coming on the next flight. The next flight departs at, I think it was like 10 a.m. She didn't arrive that much after me, y'all. But when I get there, remember, Canister booked the hotel. So I'm at the airport and I'm asking her, because we were supposed to arrive together. So I don't have any of the hotel information. I don't even know if we were getting a rental car. Like I don't have anything, because he was supposed to be hosting us. So I'm texting her or whatever. She's at the airport in Houston, and I'm like, hey, can you send me the information to the hotel? And did we get a rental car? Like, what's going on? And she's like, no, he's gonna come pick us up from the airport. You can either wait for me or I can ask him for the information. And y'all, I wasn't trying to be, well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little impatient. So I was just like, friend, I don't really want to wait, because when the flight left at 7 and I got there around like 8:30 ish, and then her flight was leaving 3 hours after mine. So really, she probably wasn't gonna make it out the airport till 11. And I was tired. I just wanted to do an early check-in. I wanted to go to the hotel. Can you see if we could do an early check-in and give me the information to the hotel? So she's like, I know it's the Hilton, but I don't know, like I don't have any of the information. I'm gonna text and call him. So y'all, I'm at the airport. An hour passed by. No follow up, no text, no information about the hotel. So I call her back and I'm like, did you get the information from Canister about the hotel? And she's just like, oh, he's still asleep. He's not really a morning person. He typically don't wake up to noon. So I'm like, noon? So who was gonna pick us up from the airport if he don't wake up until noon? Like this don't make sense. So y'all, at this point, I'm annoyed and I don't have time for that. So I went ahead and booked a hotel at the Louis, and it wasn't even like a hotel, y'all. It low key was like a suite. Like we had a living room, we had 2 bedrooms. It was really, really nice, and the staff and the property was nice. It's If you ever go to New Orleans, y'all, downtown, end up getting a room there. The people actually did let me check in early, because I didn't think I was going to be able to check in until 4 o'clock, but they actually let me check in at 12. I think I had to pay like an additional $100, but it was worth it. If I ever need to check in somewhere early, a lot of places, they won't tell you that they offer this, but if they have availability, they will let you check in early, or you can pay additional to get an earlier check-in. I don't know if y'all know that, but a lot of hotels, they will honor it if they have the space. So I end up checking in early. Homegirl gets there. I want to say she didn't land until like 12 o'clock. By that time, I was just waking up from my nap, because I left the airport. I want to say it probably was like 9 going on 10 by the time I found somewhere to stay, and I Ubered there. Already ate and everything, y'all. I ate, went to sleep, woke up, and she was just saying that she landed. So again, this is a trip for her and her man. I'm just there just to, if something happens, I'm only a couple minutes away, y'all. This wasn't a trip where we had an itinerary planned or anything. So I'm posting on my close friends. I'm on Instagram and I'm posting. One of my other homegirls sees this. This is the homegirl that we call Blowfish. Blowfish sees my story. And if you ever been to New Orleans, if you post pictures of the building or the street, like if you a native or like you know New Orleans, like you know New Orleans like the back of your hand. So my other homegirl, she is from New Orleans, y'all, but she's never home. Like she lives, I want to say she moved back to Atlanta, but at this time, I think she lived in Florida at this time, but she was visiting her family. It was just a coincidence that the same weekend I was visiting New Orleans, she happened to be home. So when she sees my story, she was just like, where you at? Like, what's your plans? Like, let's meet up and do lunch. So I told her I was just there literally with my other homegirl, but we weren't really doing anything. And y'all, I cannot mix friends because anytime I mix my friend groups, they never like each other. And Blowfish, we went on a vacation. Let me not rush through this. Let me not rush through this. Let me back up and give y'all the story of how they don't like each other, because I don't just want to make it seem like they don't like each other for no reason, because there's definitely a reason why they don't like each other. Prior to this, on my, I want to say my 24th, it was my either my 24th or 25th birthday, I went on vacation, and I'm not going to say where because I don't recall if I put a vlog up of this vacation or not, but just know I went on vacation with two of my homegirls. And the country that we went to, it was a Spanish speaking country. Y'all know I do not speak any Espanol. Like I don't, Blowfish didn't, and neither does what's her name? Goldfish. Goldfish doesn't speak Spanish either. It was my birthday trip, and I asked my homegirls to come on the trip with me, and I think I probably invited like four of them, and these were the only two people that can show up. So on the trip, I didn't have anything, like we did have an itinerary and things planned, but I didn't have any like fancy birthday dinner or anything like that. I found places that look nice on TikTok, and I was just kind of going with the flow, y'all. Prior to this, like leading up to the trip, Goldfish was just like, oh, for your birthday, I'm going to pay for your fine dining dinner. Keep in mind, at this time, me and Goldfish, this was I want to say, within the first year of knowing each other. Like we were friends, but we weren't like really, really close, y'all. We were just cool. Well, I would consider her a friend, but we weren't close. So we get to the country. Like I said, I'm not going to say the name of the country, but check into I think we stayed in the Airbnb. Everything is beautiful. Everything is good. Everybody has their own room. The place looks exactly like the pictures. We go get food. We vibe in. We having a good time. I don't know if it was that night or the following night, but I know it was at the very beginning of the trip where Goldfish and Blowfish, they did not like each other. And keep in mind, Goldfish is a friend that I met like back in college, y'all, so she knew me a little longer than Goldfish. Blowfish knew me longer or whatever, so she was already kind of skeptical of this girl even going on a trip with me. But at the time, I had just moved to Houston. I'm open to making new friends. Like if you say you can go on a trip, you want to go on a trip, we can go on a trip. She ended up telling me that she wanted to pay for my birthday dinner. We were going to this fine dining restaurant. Not going to say the name of the restaurant, but I do want y'all to keep in mind that the currency exchange, like the difference is crazy. Our money goes much farther than their money. So it's a very cheap country, y'all. A Blowfish, she ends up telling me, well, she told both of us, like she wasn't feeling good since we got there. Like we all went out to eat. Shortly after she arrived, she was not feeling good. So she said she was going to skip the dinner. Again, y'all, it wasn't anything special. Like it wasn't even actually on my birthday. I think we went on the trip like a couple days before my birthday. Restaurant, and I have this rule that when I'm out, I do not bring all of my money on me, because at the time, this was my first time going to this country. I have been to this country several times and nothing terrible has happened to me yet, but at that time I didn't know this is my first experience in this country. So I have this rule of not bringing all of my belongings or bringing all of my cash on me. So I deliberately only brought, I want to say I brought maybe, I don't want to say the name of the currency, y'all, but let's just say it was USD. I bought maybe $20 USD on me, and I left all of my money at the Airbnb. And Goldfish was just like, oh, you don't need no money, you don't need no wallet, I got dinner, it's your birthday, like I'm gonna pay for everything. Like she just kept saying that. So I'm like, okay, cool, my B gonna pay for everything. Like I love that for me. To the restaurant is beautiful. We're like the only ones at this restaurant. Keep in mind, this is a very a Spanish country, y'all. Nobody speaks English. The servers don't speak English. Like, we're ordering stuff like we 2 years old. We're ordering stuff like we're a toddler, y'all. We pointing at the menu because they don't even have an English version of the menu. So we're on this rooftop balcony, beautiful view. The food was good. Well, y'all don't know the country. The food wasn't good, y'all. The food was not good. The food was okay. The food was okay. But again, I'm there for my birthday. I'm enjoying the ambience of the restaurant. It's a vibrant night. There was also a club downstairs from this place that we discovered on our way to dinner. So we were planning on going to the club afterwards. And the check ends up coming, y'all. And before the check comes, I think I told her I needed to go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom for a good 30 minutes, y'all. And I'm taking pictures. I think when I went to the bathroom, I saw the waiter was coming with the check. Keep that in mind. So I'm in the bathroom and I am in there probably on a phone taking pictures. I'm doing everything. I'm taking a whole bunch of pictures. If I can find the pictures that I took on my birthday, I will insert it in the video because I look so tea, y'all. So I'm in the bathroom taking pictures. By the time I get out the bathroom, y'all, the entire staff is surrounding a goldfish. The entire staff, the whole entire restaurant is surrounding her. And I'm looking like, hold on, like law. Like, I'm walking and then I start running because I'm like, what the hell? Why is the entire staff? Mind you, there was nobody in this restaurant at this point. It was just me and my homegirl. And there's not a lot of this place. It's still not popular. It's not a popular tourism spot. Definitely not for black people. So I'm immediately on defense. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why y'all all around her like this? We don't even speak English. Like, what the is going on? The people are like, and I'm like, what is going on? So Goldfish is like, hey, for some reason, my card declining. So I'm just like,
Pow.
okay, like, how much is the bill? The bill ends up coming up to a little over $100. Mind you, y'all, all I have is the $20. All I have is the $20. That's all I have. So I'm like, okay, all I have is this. But we walked to this restaurant. This restaurant was within like 10 minutes from the Airbnb. So I'm like, I can just go back to the place and I'll go back and get the rest of my money and we'll take care of it. But y'all, the people, the manager came out. They are not trying to let us leave. And then there's a language barrier. So they're thinking that we're trying to dash and dine, like dine and dash. They're thinking we're trying to like run off. And I'm just trying to communicate with them and tell them like, I will go get the money, but they were not letting us leave. So at this point, I did have obviously like I had Apple Pay, but they didn't accept Apple Pay. And then I'm like, okay, well, I can just Zelle you the money or like cash up you the money. She's like, no, I don't have any of this. All I have is, it was either, what is that app called? It was like Chime or like ADP, or it was one of those, y'all. It wasn't Cash App, or it wasn't like an actual bank. Like, she didn't have an actual bank. So she was like, no, I can't get any money or whatever. So we're sitting there at the restaurant. This time we're in the restaurant for about 40 minutes. I pull up Google Translate and I tell them like, hey, I'm gonna go and get the money. We not trying to run off on y'all. Like, this is not one of those. Like, we are not those type of people. I'm gonna go get the money. So I leave. I'm literally, y'all, running. I'm running. I'm running to the Airbnb to go get my cash. I bust into the door. Blowfish is in the living room, and she was just like, where's Goldfish? Like, what's going on? So I give her a quick little rundown. Like I just told y'all, I'm like, girl, I'm in the bathroom, and then I come out, everybody around her like she done stole something, or like she done, like, basically I explained the entire situation to her, and she's just like, girl, what? She offered to pay for dinner and she couldn't pay. So now, mind y'all, Blowfish is from New Orleans, y'all. She turns up. So she is pissed. She was just like, what? That's crazy. What? So why you had to go get your money? If she offered to pay, why she didn't come? So I'm like, I don't know. I don't have time. We'll talk about this later. I leave. I go back to the restaurant with the cash. The people, they did end up letting us leave. We tipped them, but it was embarrassing, y'all, to say the very least. It was very embarrassing. And Goldfish kept apologizing. She was just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And again, y'all, I did not hold that against her because it was only like $100. And then I do believe when we got back to the hotel, I do believe, I do not recall right now because like I said, this was years ago. So I don't remember every little detail, but I'm going to say she did end up giving me the money back, like in another form. I don't know if it was during the trip or after the trip, but this is the day that Blowfish did not like her. Like Blowfish didn't like her ever since that day. We still had a good trip, but Blowfish was very short with her and she kind of felt some way. Like after that trip, she was just like, don't ever bring me on a trip. Fast forward to now. Again, I'm staying at the Louis. I'm in NOLA. Blowfish is at home at her parents' house and she's like, Asia, let's meet up, let's do something. And I'm like, bet, because I literally didn't have no itinerary. Keep in mind, I'm just here to support my girl. I keep forgetting these names, y'all, because it's just so why did I come up with that name? Blowfish, no. Goldfish. Okay. Goldfish, Blowfish, Big Dot. But that is that TikTok song. Y'all probably don't know it. But anyway, girl, she ends up saying, let's like, I'll pick you up or whatever because I'm in town. And it was just the craziest thing because I haven't, at this point, I probably haven't seen her in about a year, y'all. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'll like when I get ready, I'll let you know. Cause keep in mind, I had just woken up from a nap. So Goldfish ends up calling me and she's just like, babe's coming to pick me up from the airport. I'll come by the house and like drop my stuff off later. So I'm like, all right, cool. Not the house, y'all, the hotel. She's like, I'll come out the hotel and I'll drop my stuff off later. I tell her that Blowfish is also in town. And she was like, oh, I didn't know she lived here. I'm like, she doesn't live here anymore, but her people lives here. She's from here. So she's like, oh, okay, that's perfect. So now you will have somebody to hang out with. Because the plan really was for me to just be in the hotel, y'all. This is supposed to just be her and her man. I was expecting to meet the man, but it wasn't going to be like a three-way type of situation. Like I was just going to be third wheeling with them. I knew that I was going to be in the hotel. Like I considered it a staycation. I did vlog this, y'all, but I never put it up. I was supposed to write the trip off and everything, but I never put it up because I'll let y'all know later. Blowfish, she ends up picking me up. We end up going to her mom's house first. I met her mom, I met her family. Blowfish, if you see this, I love you. Y'all, I just love people from New Orleans. The accents just do it for me every time. So I pretty much meet her whole damn family, y'all. We over there for a while. I end up playing games with them. She takes me to this seafood spot. We eat seafood. We go get beignets, y'all. We just have a time. I end up being with her for probably like 5 hours. Oh, my bad. My camera ended up dying. But I'm going to try to wrap this up because I charged it until I got to 5%. So hopefully that carries us through the rest of the story time. So anyway, I end up being with Blowfish for like 5 hours. She takes me back to my hotel. By this time, y'all, I just want to relax. I just want to take a shower and relax. But I did call Goldfish and Goldfish had yet to drop her bags off because I added her name to the reservation, y'all. She didn't drop her bags off or anything. And I know y'all probably thinking like, girl, what happened to the hotel that the man got y'all? At this point, my mind wasn't even on that. I was comfortable. The Louis was the spot. So I didn't even think to ask her any of this. But in hindsight, I should have been like, day one, I should have been like, what happened to the hotel? Night, she never came home. She ended up spending the night or staying out with Canister. The next day, that's when I finally thought like, oh shit, am I going to reserve this reservation? I'm like, what's going on? So I think I woke up at like 6 a.m., y'all. I text her and I was just like, hey, where is the new place? Because if the place wasn't up to par, I was just going to extend the reservation anyway. I was already kind of on the fence and thinking about extending the reservation because like I said, y'all, the Louis was tea. It was so nice and so clean. So she ends up calling me back probably around like 8 a.m. and checkout was at, I want to say 10 or 11 around this time. So she's just like, oh, he said that he just canceled it because like I can just stay here. And I was just like, well, what if I wanted to stay at the hotel? Like he's supposed to book the hotel for both of us, but all of a sudden he just canceled it. I don't know, y'all. It sounds like a lot. Like to me, it sounds like he never booked the hotel, but he told her that he canceled the hotel because she was comfortable enough to stay there last night. So it kind of just gave F me and F if your friend was comfortable. So I already didn't really like Canister just by how you move. Like, even when she told you that I was at the that I was at the airport, I didn't care for him to come pick me up, but you could have at least sent me an Uber. You could have offered some type of service for me to get to the hotel. Like, I don't know. I just didn't like the lapse in time. Um, if I'm hosting and you bring in a friend and I say your friend is welcome to come as well and you're getting both of us a room, I'm going to make sure your friend is straight regardless of the fact if things change. So I didn't like that or whatever. And at the time she was like, well, I can ask him. But again, y'all, it was nothing for me to extend the reservation for 2 more days. So I'm just like, no, I'll just extend the reservation because it's real comfy and cute over here. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna come over there and get ready and we can all go to breakfast. And I'm like, okay, cool or whatever. Like, I'll meet him. So she gets to the hotel. She starts telling me that they did the do. And before we got ready to go out, something told me not to go. Like, I was no longer ecstatic to meet this man because, like I said, I just didn't like the way he canceled the hotel. We only got a return flight. Like, I don't like that. But then again, I was just like, all right, like, I'm here, I might as well like do one outing with them or whatever, because she said that he had dinner reservations for them that night and she was really ecstatic. And if my friends are happy, I'm gonna match your energy. Like, I'm not going to come on a trip and just be a bad vibe. Like, that's never been me, even if I'm not having a good time, which I was, y'all, because it was a staycation. So we end up getting ready. The man comes and he picks us up. When we get in the car, I'm not gonna lie, Canister was just overly going and overly friendly. And we talked about this looking back, and she was just like, oh, I didn't notice any of that. But at the time, y'all, I peeped it day one. Like, my nervous system, it never lies. As soon as I got in the car, he kept looking at me through the rearview mirror. And like, he was kind of whatever, but every time I would look up, he would be looking at me. Like, I would see his eyeballs looking at my eyeballs through the mirror. Like, he was looking at me through the rear view mirror the entire time. So that kind of made me feel a little uncomfortable. But then again, I don't know him, so let's just vibe. So he's playing music in the car, like we all talking or whatever. We get to the restaurant. He does open both of our doors, pulls out chairs, you know, a complete gentleman. And my homegirl is like boosting him up, like, oh my gosh, like, this is my man, I'm so happy for you to finally meet him. Like, the guy, like, from on paper, y'all, the man was 50. Let me go ahead and throw that out there too, y'all. The man was 50. So on paper, he definitely did have all of his stuff together. But I was trying to tell homegirl, he's supposed to have his stuff together. Like, at 50, you having a car and a good job, and you know what I mean? Like, that's like a baby knowing how to cry and poop all day. That's what they were born to. That's what they're supposed to do. Like, that comes natural. You know what I mean? Like, you know, y'all get what I mean? So when she was boosting the man up about like the stuff, I don't know, y'all. Like, I was just at the table and it was kind of awkward or whatever. And again, I was just keeping it very cutesy because I was third wheeling, y'all, and I had never met this man. But at this point, we're at the table, we're all vibing and we're talking, and I'm giving them both a story time about the time. If y'all been on this channel, y'all are OGs. Y'all remember the time where we got drunk AF and we got in a car with, I made some poor decisions in college. That's all I'm going to say. So I give him that story time about the two guys. Like, if you ain't see that story time, go back and watch it, because I'm not gonna lie, thinking back, it's ludicrous. Thank God that I'm still here, because I used to do some wild stuff, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. But anyway, I'm telling him about that story time or whatever, and he was just like, yeah, from people from the South in New Orleans, we very hospitable. Like, they wasn't gonna do nothing to y'all, blah, blah, blah. It was like everything I told him in the story time, he kind of flipped it as if I was tripping. Like, we got in a car with random men, y'all, because we were drunk at like 3 a.m. We had ended up losing our car. We could not find our car. And we were giving up. The guys kept circling. I'm giving y'all the story time in short, y'all. The guys kept circling around us, asking us if we needed any help. We kept telling them no. And then me and my friends, we basically looked at each other and we was just like, if I die, then I die. Like, at least we die together. Like, that's what type of time we was on. We was on some YOLO-ish, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. It was giving YOLO. I'm explaining all of those details to him. And at the end, he's just like, oh no, they wasn't finna do anything to y'all. Like, we good-hearted people. And it was just like, that's not the gist of what I was saying. But okay, it was like he invalidated like whatever I had just told him. I'm paying for our food. I never assumed that he was going to pay for our food. While we were at the table, I pulled out my card just because I just suspected that they were going to do separate checks, but they brought out one singular check, and Goldfish is like, oh no, he got it, friend. He got it, friend. And he looks at her and like, how you know I got it? Like, did I tell you I had it? And that's when I was just like, if you don't have it, I have it. Like, y'all, I had chicken and waffles. Like, my food was like $20. So it wasn't that big of a deal. So when he sees that I was kind of a little bit combative, because I was just like, if you don't got it, then I got it. Like, it don't even have to be that way. So he looks at me and he was just like, I got you too. And he does a wink. He does one of those. So when he does that, I look at my friend and she is kick. And I'm just like, maybe the mimosa hit too hard, because what? But I didn't make a big deal about it, y'all. Again, we at the table, we here for just a weekend. I'm not gonna embarrass her or make a big deal in front of the man. We'll talk about it later. So keep that in mind. That was another thing that rubbed me the wrong way. And all of this, what happened later, it makes a lot of sense, y'all. Fast forward after that, I tell him, like, if you can drop me back off to the hotel, that would be great, because I had made arrangements with Blowfish. Me and her was supposed to meet up because she was flying out early in the morning. So this was going to be our last day just to kick it with each other, y'all. I think we were supposed to be going bowling or something. We end up not doing that. But homeboy insisted on taking us everywhere except home. I had asked him multiple times, can you take me back to the Louis so I can get ready, take a nap, and then go out with my homegirl later? He was like, he wanted to show us this jazz spot. So he ends up taking us to this jazz spot. And y'all, it was just giving very pimpish. Like, anytime I would do something, like the first time when he opened the car door for me, it was very much cutesy. But then the second time, he got mad at me for opening my own car door. Yeah, it was giving weird. Like, the whole situation was weird. Fast forward, and at the time, I wasn't gonna be too much on my friend about this, because I realized when you're in love, love is a blinding thing. Like, when you're, I don't even want to say love, because I feel like at this point she was just infatuated with him, and it was more so lust rather than love. But both of those things could be blinding. Like, she wasn't seeing clearly, but I was seeing everything clearly. Like, the man also complimented me, and there's nothing wrong with your man complimenting your friends, but the fact that I do not know you like that, like, you're not bro status yet. Sorry, y'all, my camera ended up dying again, but I promise you this time I'm gonna wrap it up. So where was I think I told y'all we were at the jazz spot. Y'all, my bad. My camera died like 2 seconds after this, but I did want to add, when we were at the jazz spot, it was a coincidence that he knew everybody in there. Like, all of his homeboys was in there. He was going around introducing us to people like we were his ladies. Like, it was giving pimp in his two holes. And it was just so weird. I'm like, how does this man know everybody? Every time we turned the corner, he's just like, this is my girl and this is my girlfriend. Like, I'm the friend of the girl. Y'all know what I mean. But it was just so weird. And people was dapping him up. Like, how are you getting props off of what my mama made? Like, this is weird. You're not my man. Like, this is not that, but it was giving that. Like, he literally introduced everyone to us as his girl and then his girl's friend. Like, he didn't even say our name. Y'all, it was just so weird, and I was overly ready to go. After we left the jazz spot, he ends up taking us to go get beignets. I told him I had just had beignets the day before, and he was just like, no, but you ain't had, this is the best beignets in New Orleans, and they ain't take you here, you ain't had it, right? So we did go to this other spot, and it was really good, y'all. It was really good. I can't hold him, but keep in mind, by this time, this is 3 hours after breakfast. Like, I've been asked to go back to the hotel, and this is 3 hours later. So when we're at the beignet spot, I was just like, I'm going to call me an Uber, because it was not far from the hotel. Like, the spot, I think it was like maybe 15 minutes apart. So I was like, I'm going to call an Uber. And my friend is just like, no, friend, let him drop you off. You don't have to call an Uber. And I'm just like, no, I'm going to call the Uber, because I've asked him multiple times. He dropped me off. He wasn't trying to drop us off. Another thing I want to mention, y'all, this man was under the influence when he was driving. And I know some people have a high tolerance, but he was drinking out of flask. And I did not notice that he was drinking out of that until I think it was after we got back in the car from the jazz spot. It was either after that or right before we got to the beignet spot. He was drinking. and I did not peep this at all. And she was also drinking out of the flask. So I'm like, yo, you gotta be lit, because the man was like overly friendly, and it could have had something to do with the liquor, y'all, but he was like just overly friendly. Fast forward, they did end up dropping me off, because I basically was telling them, if you don't drop me off now, like, I don't got time for all these pit stops. And it kind of seemed like he wanted to impress us. It was just like, do you not know, not to brag, but sir, do you not know I done been to Egypt? You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about seeing different spots around New Orleans. Like, it was giving like we had booked a tour guide, and he was trying to show us around the cities and the historical. No offense to anybody that live in New Orleans. It's a beautiful city. I've been a few times, but I don't care to see that. I'm sorry. Like, I wanted to go back to my hotel. So we did eventually go back to my hotel, but again, y'all, he was still trying to do pit stops on the way. Like, every time we drove past places, he was just like, oh, and that's where the Katrina, sir, please just let me go back to my hotel. I end up, mind you, we left out for breakfast, I want to say around like, it was like between 11 and 12 o'clock. I didn't get back to my hotel, y'all, until 4 p.m. And that's how late he had me out. Mind you, I had been asking since breakfast, can you drop me back off to the hotel? So I end up going back to the hotel. By this time, my homegirl, Blowfish, she no longer wanted to go out, but she said she would like pick me up if I needed to go somewhere, if I needed to do something. I'm like, no, I don't really want to do anything, but I am hungry. Like, I'm going to need to eat in a little bit, because by that time it had been hours since we had ate breakfast. So she did come pick me up, took me to get something to eat, and we literally just sat in her car and talked and talked and talked. Fast forward, while I'm in the middle of eating my food in the car with Blowfish, Goldfish ends up calling me, and she was just like, B, you need to go and book your flight. And I'm like, what do you mean I need to book my flight? And she was just like, he said he don't want to book your return flight back home anymore. So I'm like, what do you mean he doesn't want to book the flight anymore? But it's okay, because I figured that, like, all the signs was already there, y'all. But at the time, I wasn't thinking about it. So I went online, I booked me a return flight back home. It was like $100 for a flight the next day out, the earliest flight. It wasn't really a big deal, but it was just the principle. Again, I'm in the car with Blowfish, so I'm not trying to really talk to her too much. I asked her twice, like, what do you mean he's not going to pay for the flight? And then once we get off the phone, Blowfish, it was just like, girl, like, you know not to go on any more trips with her. And I'm just like, yeah, this man is definitely blowing me. Like, this is definitely going to be the last little escapades we go on. And it wasn't even that. Like, I'm there for the safety, y'all. It wasn't even that. But I didn't explain that to Blowfish. So she thinking that we on a vacation together, and she just ran off with a man. And I'm just like, girl, no, it's not that. She didn't just run off with a man. Even if you weren't here, I was going to be in the hotel room. Like, this was just to make sure she was a good type of trip. It's her first time flying out to see a guy, and it could be intimidating. Like, I get nervous on first dates when you ain't never meet a nigga before and you go meet him for the first time. It can be nerve-wracking. Keep in mind, Blowfish is a little biased because she already did not like Goldfish. So anything I said, she was going to make it something negative. So I didn't even indulge in the conversation with her, because she wanted to know who this man was so bad. But I'm just like, I'm not going to tell you who this man was, because one, y'all, I personally did not know who this man was. But as for, she ends up telling me she's going to drop me off to the airport tomorrow, because she also flies out. I think she flew out probably like an hour after me. So it worked out perfectly, y'all. So the following day, she ends up telling me, Goldfish ends up telling me that she's gonna extend her flight. Mind you, y'all, this man was a liar. There was never any flight. So when she told me that she said that he was gonna extend her flight, I'm like, I thought you said that he didn't get you a round trip flight. And she was like, yeah, he said he was gonna extend it because he didn't get you one, but he did end up getting me one. But I'm going to extend my flight. As for y'all, I'm back home. I'm in Houston now. At this point, I'm not thinking anything of the weekend that I just had, because it was very peaceful. Like, I ate good food. I got to catch up with my longtime homegirl, and it wasn't a big deal for me to buy my flight back. And homegirl did tell me that she was going to ask him to give me the money, like reimburse me for the room. So I wasn't thinking anything of it. Fast forward, literally, I want to say I got back that Sunday I got back. And we left on Monday. It was literally like a 2.5 day trip, y'all. She calls me the following day on Monday, and she's still in New Orleans. and she's asking me like, oh, what's the best form of payment? Zelle, Cash App, Apple Pay, because he wants to send you the money for the hotel. I hear him in the background or whatever because she has me on speakerphone, but I didn't know that she had me on speakerphone. So I tell her the cost of the hotel, and I think, y'all, like I said, it was no more than $600. I do not recall exactly how much it was, but I say the cost of the hotel, and he's in the background. He was just like, tell her to send me a receipt, like send me the leisure, send me the receipt. And I hear this, and I'm just like, why do I gotta send a leisure? Like, he basically was trying to insinuate that I was making up the price, and I just wanted to get some money from him. And I'm just like, if he want the receipt, I'll send it. But why do I gotta send a receipt? Like, nobody has to lie about how much the hotel costs. You can literally look up the name of the Louis, and you know their hotel, like the cost per night is probably like $250. And at that time, that was expensive, but I did stay, I want to say 3 nights. So this is information that you can look up. I told you where I stayed at. You dropped me back off where I stayed at. So why are you trying to make it seem like I stayed at the Holiday Inn and I'm making up prices? So I'm not going back and forth with him, but I'm like, I figured out that she had me on speakerphone, and I called him broke, y'all. So he heard me call him broke. So she ends up taking me off speakerphone, going to another room. And she was like, friend, I had you on speakerphone. I'm like, well, you have to tell me that you have me on speakerphone, because if he in the background asking for receipts, my mouth is going to go a little crazy, because what do you mean? I'm trying to like play you. Like, what are you talking about? That's what he said. He's like, oh, you trying to play me? She's trying to play me. I'm going to need a receipt. Okay. So she's like, just text me your Zelle or whatever. I ask her, is everything good? So she tells me everything is good, but she's saying that the man is like crazy. Like, this is not going to be her man. She's like, soon as she get home, he's getting cut off. So I'm trying to get the tea and figure out like why the man is getting cut off. But at the time, she's at his house, y'all, so she couldn't really tell me everything. Fast forward, she ends up coming home, y'all. Weeks passed, months passed. Do y'all think I ever got reimbursed for that hotel? No, y'all. I never got reimbursed for the hotel. Never got reimbursed for the round trip flight from the man. The man was a liar, and it was more to the story. But obviously, y'all, I had to leave a lot out because, for the sake of my friend, I'm not gonna tell y'all why it ended up like not working out. But just know the man was a liar. He was a liar, and he had other situations going on. But I'm not gonna tell y'all all the details of her situation. I just want to tell y'all my parts in the situation. Story time on the last time I went to NOLA, because y'all been asking me for vacation horror stories and things of that sort. And I feel like I gave y'all all the ones that I could really give y'all. I haven't gave y'all certain ones. Maybe I'll start back posting on my Patreon, and I'll be able to give y'all juicier story times. But it's only so much that I can put here on the tube. But yeah, that's the story time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in my next one.